And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock God Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here right next to the San Diego landings in Point Loma. And boy, do we have a great guest here for you today. In the world headquarters, Captain Ryan Bostian from the San Diego. He's been catching some bluefin and a whole bunch more, so you stay tuned. This is Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio and the Let's Talk Hookup app.
You've heard all about it. You know the anglers catching fish have it, so what's holding you back? It's a fact. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. You can get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com is for everyone, whether you have your own boat, fish on your friend's boat, or a sport boat. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. So bottom line is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, you're probably missing a lot of bites. Membership costs less than $50 of gas, and that's for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, use the special code to save $20 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
Fillet knives shouldn't be disposable. Introducing AFTCO fillet knives that are built to last. Designed in collaboration with Boker, Germany, AFTCO knives feature 4116 German stainless steel, bonded with titanium nitride to ensure optimum corrosion resistance and exceptional edge retention. A non-slip TPR handle maintains a firm grip when processing game fish. Premium in every sense, AFTCO fillet knives are available in multiple length options to provide the right tool that gets the job done season after season. Fillet knives from AFTCO. Any fish, any water.
In San Diego, the future belongs to everyone. So Ford engineered the truck of the future for everyone, the Ford F-150, available with a Pro Power onboard generator. What a great addition for anglers. There's also a variety of cab configurations for whatever you need to haul. The truck of the future isn't created for just a few. It's created for us who love the ocean and the outdoor life. Ford F-150. Test drive one at your local San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Hookup, what a fun show today's going to be, man. Biting fish and good times. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the guy that's been on them, Captain Ryan Bostian, good morning.
Morning, Pete. Morning, Rick.
Yeah,
how you doing?
Great. We've been watching you. You've been catching them, huh?
Jeez. It's been wild.
Yeah. It's starting out like the last, seems like 10 seasons have. We start out at the Coronado Islands. We tried to make a go of it there, but the water was just unsettled and cold, and we had a couple good days, 30, 35 yellowtail days at the Coronado Islands, but with the bluefin that seemed to be around year-round now, we got a little intel, and the water charts looked good. We went out there, our very first trip, we caught 34 bluefin.
First trip,
yeah. The way the fleet is working together now is something that I'm really excited about and proud of. It used to be when I first started driving these day trips, leave the dock in the morning on the Mission Belle. If I wanted to know what the Prowler or the Pacific Queen or whoever else was out on an overnight trip, what they were catching or seeing, I couldn't even get a hold of them. I'd have to get on this single sideband radio that I didn't know how to use, and then it didn't work once I did figure out how to use it. And so what they were seeing and catching was a mystery to me.
Yeah.
Now, on our way out, we have dispatch, we have multiple radios, we can get a hold of these guys and see what they're seeing at night. They're fishing 24 hours a day, so they're gathering up a lot of information, and we pretty much know where not to go or where we can drive straight to an area where we stand a chance. And that's all you can ask with bluefin fishing is a chance. It's up to them. Once you get around them, it's up to them whether or not they bite or not. And if you're there on the right day, it could be amazing. You could also go out there and stop on thousands and thousands of fish and never get a bite. We've all seen that scenario as well.
Is there any particular condition that makes this is the day, or it's random?
I don't know what it is. Yeah, there probably is, but I tell all of our anglers to hop on the boat, any of these boats, with the right mindset.
Totally.
Step on the boat expecting good service from the crew, expecting a clean boat, expecting the crew and the captain to try as hard as they possibly can, but don't step on the boat expecting to catch fish.
Yeah.
Go out there with expectations of, enjoying the day on the water. That's what it's about. And if you're there on the right day, you might just see something so magical, biting bluefin, something that we're kind of getting accustomed to it now, but it's special to leave the dock in the morning and have a shot at a fish over 100 pounds or a limit of 40, 50-pound bluefin. It's special. We should not take it for granted.
That's so true.
That is for sure. And last week you had those kinds of days, right? Why don't you tell us about some of the better days last week?
Yeah. One of the things that bluefin do that I really like a lot is they will get around your boat and gather up, and you can drift on them for hours and hours and hours, which is what we did on a few trips last week. We'd stop the boat at 9 in the morning and drift till 2 in the afternoon.
Wow. That's so cool.
It wasn't ever wide open during those times, but we would keep 1 to 4 hooked up, and at times the meter would have a lot of fish on it. At times it would have very little fish on it, but you're able to drift. And there's not many fish that do that. Yellowtail around the Coronado Islands, unless you're on the anchor, you're not really going to get a sustained stop like that where you can stay drifting, shut the engines off for hours at a time. But bluefin will do that. So we had that a few times last week. But then the very next day, you go to the same area, you see the same sign, you stop on a school, it hangs around the boat for 5 seconds and then leaves and never comes back. So they're mysterious. They're very mysterious. And we can tell now on the meter, the guys that have been doing it a while, we can tell within the first minute how the stop's going to go pretty much. They have a signature on the electronics, especially the guys at night that are fishing them 24 hours a day. Like, they can tell before they get out of the wheelhouse what the stop's going to do just by the way they're acting on the meter.
Like,
so crazy.
How is that?
That's crazy.
If they dive, you get over the top of them on your up and down meter, and they dive straight down like a rocket, like almost vertical, you're not going to catch them. Forget it. They're gone. If they dive down and then come back up and start yo-yoing on up and down on your fathometer, they're into it. They're checking you out. They're very aware. They know you're there before you know they're there. They can feel your boat, and you can just tell. You can see them on the sonar. They're hanging around. They're coming up in the water column. They're getting shallower. They're into it. It might be a good stop.
That's cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so you say you talk to the guys that are fishing at night. How does that relate to your daytime fishing? I mean, are you going to be able to catch fish on that same school that they fished all night?
Possibly, yeah. And the thing about bluefin that we've learned is they like to be together, pretty much in the same area. If one boat sees one giant school, most likely it's not alone. There's other giant schools nearby. The small schools, the little wolf packs, those could be anywhere. And that is happening right now. You can go out there right now and see a little wolf pack or a small school of fish just about anywhere. From the 9 Mile bank to as far as we could go, you could see little tiny schools of them. But the volume, the biomass, the meat that these boats need to be around in order to make a catch are in small areas right now. And more than anything, we just want to know where they're seeing them, and where they're not seeing them,
right,
where they've looked, because it's ruling out water is just as important as anything else. We just want to get around them and see how it goes. Yesterday was a relatively slow day during the day for everybody, but Taro and the Liberty had a great stop. He had a stop for 80 fish.
Oh,
in the
man.
Yeah, in the same area.
On a full day?
On a full day, yeah.
Wow.
in the same area as guys that couldn't get a bite. So
sure. But that school stuck with them, and it wanted what they had, and all day long they get to pick them away.
Yeah, all day long. It's school to school. It's you just got to go out there with the right mindset and hope you're there on the right day and be prepared with tackle. There's lots of tackle videos available to people, but it's basic. You know, you want a 25 to 40 pound fly line rod. You want a 40 to 50 pound rod to fish something subsurface like a Chrome 6X Junior or a sniper style jig. And then you always want to bring something heavy, your 80 or 100 pound rod, because you never know. Like yesterday, there were schools of 25 to 40 pounders, and then a half mile away, there are schools of 140 pounders.
Jeez. That's so crazy.
So, yeah, you just never know what you're going to run into. And that's another thing with these fish counts. They can be deceiving. You might see a guy only catches 7 for the day on his boat, but that's not the whole story. He might have been drifting all day long, pulling on 100+ pound fish,
sure,
and only landed 7. You know,
right.
So just step on the boat with low expectations as far as bringing home meat. You know, you're not going to the market. You're not gonna I'm gonna load up the freezer. It's not like that. You're going out to experience something that is unique. It doesn't happen every year, and if you're there on the right day, you might just see something you've never seen before.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. How fun is that? So, as far as tackle goes, what's been the hot setup? I mean, you already talked about that.
Yeah.
But is it if you're going to tell somebody, okay, this is what you need to focus on, is there a particular methodology, the brawler rig, the live bait fly line, the flat fall? What would be the thing that you would tell people to focus on?
For us so far this year during the daytime, it's been about fly line fishing. You know, 30 pound, 40 pound. We put fluorocarbon leaders on everything when we're fishing bluefin. They have such good eyesight. It just seems to help, whether we're fishing a sniper or a fly line bait or even that brawler rig, a sinker rig. We just put fluoro on everything. We like the abrasion resistance of it. But so far it's been just traditional 30-pound fly line bait rig. And small hooks. Yeah, it's hard to give a guy a number for hook size now because it's so different with the brands.
Manufacturer.
Yeah, every brand is different. But, you know, we're using those Mutus. And I think it was pretty small, like a size 4 circle Mutu or a size 2. I don't know. The guys in the tackle shop, they're small. Then when you look at them, if you haven't fished bluefin before, when you look at them, you'd be like, no way is that small hook.
I'm not going to catch a 100-pound fish on something that's the size of your thumbnail.
Yeah, but they do, and it's crazy how hook size makes such a big difference. I'm amazed by it.
Is it because of their eyesight?
I guess, yeah. I think the bait just swims a lot better with a small hook, and I think it's everything, you know, eyesight and action of the bait. It makes a big difference. Now at night, these guys it's a totally different ball game. These guys are driving around hoping to be around them in the period where they bite wide open. You know, they're really during the day just trying to get them located where they see the most fish and then setting up for the nighttime where you can like drop down and catch them like mackerel.
Which is so wild to think
open.
about that.
It's crazy.
That you're having to fish 30 pound and a teeny tiny hook to get a bite, and then at nighttime comes around, you can catch it with a 16-ounce torpedo sinker with a couple of giant hooks hanging off of it. And like, that's the hot lure. You know?
Same fish.
Same fish. Same fish.
Yeah.
They're mysterious. You know, they're crazy. They're great, but they can be frustrating. They can also be amazing.
Yeah. So Cam Ryan Bostian comes out of the wheelhouse and he pins a bait on. How are you hooking that bait?
I like to belly hook my bait still. I'm just used to that. I've been hooking them like that since I was a kid, you know, in the butt, the belly, whatever you call it. That's how I hook them. I know shoulder hooking is popular these days, and we do shoulder hook when we're long drifting and they're boiling and guys are getting bit on a long soak way away from the boat. I like to shoulder hook, but for me, it's a belly hook bait, and just hope you get one that swims down. Most of the bites are coming quick. You know, a bait a minute is what we preach.
Bait a minute.
Yeah, change your bait.
Change your bait. You have plenty on the San Diego.
We have lots of them. Typically, the guy who fishes the most sardines in a day catches the most fish.
Oh, did you hear that out there?
Yeah.
That's an important little tidbit right there, right?
Yeah, and you'll know, we all know when you have a really hot bait, it hits the water, it's swimming down, and boom, that's usually when you get a bite.
Yeah, I was going to say, the second your bait hits the water, you're always like, everybody can look back like, oh man, this thing's going to get a bite for sure, and it usually does.
It usually does.
And if you don't have that feeling, it's probably time to recycle another one until you get one that does feel that way.
Yeah.
So when you're in the wheelhouse and you're on a long, long drift, when do you stay? When do you go?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's the age-old question, right?
How long do you give them before you decide we're going to drift them out?
Yeah. For us, it's you'll know that a lot of times the anglers will stop fishing. You'll start to see more and more people sitting down having a burger and a beer, and you've gone 15 minutes without hooking one. But if we can keep one hooked up, I think that's a big attractor also for new fish that are swimming by the boat. They feel each other with their lateral lines. If you can keep one hooked up, you have a good shot at gathering up more. And, if we go 15, 20 minutes without hooking one, it's time to think about moving. But it's also the way the fleet's working together as a network this year is a big part of that also. If we're drifting and there's a bunch of boats around us that can't get stopped, haven't seen a school, we might drift, even an hour without a bite. If guys aren't going into new stops, it really depends on what's happening. So,
what about seeing them? I mean, are you going to stay there if you're not seeing them on your electronics?
If we're not seeing them on electronics, we're really thinking about moving. Yeah, but we're checking in with our buddies on the other boats to see what they're seeing as well.
Yeah.
If nobody is seeing anything and we're not seeing them at all, but we've had a good stop so far, we'll milk it as long as possible.
Sure.
Yeah.
Time of day thing is important, right?
That's very important. Yeah. I know last week when I was driving, if you weren't engaged on a school before noon, you were pretty much out of the game.
Jeez.
Yeah, you had to be, engaged before noon in order to have a good day. But that's changing, and sometimes the daytime is the best time to fish. Sometimes it's the middle of the night. It's totally day to day.
So San Diego's going to stick on this offshore deal. Coronado Islands are kind of in the background if you need to, but you're pretty much going to stick with the offshore deal right now?
Yeah, we love fishing the Coronado Islands, but it's, with the visas and having to have a passport, it's tough to get enough anglers to go there unless we're catching limits of yellowtail.
Yeah.
So fishing offshore, if we can catch fish, is where we're gonna stay. And it's still very early. I'm sure at some point we'll be back to the Coronado Islands. I just don't know when.
What do you need to go offshore? What do you need to go to the Coronado Islands? What's the difference in the two trips?
As far as amount of passengers?
No, as far as just the permits, passports, etc. Yeah.
Okay. The only difference really to fish the Coronado Islands other than offshore is when you're fishing at the Coronado Islands, you need the FMM visitor's visa and the Coronado Island biosphere bracelet. In order to purchase the visitor's visa, the only form of identification that they will accept is a passport.
Or card.
Or a passport card, yes. And so what we learned when this visa thing started is that only 50% of the population in the U.S. even has a passport.
Unbelievable.
Which was mind-blowing to me, but it's a fact. And so it cuts our potential passengers in half right there. Sure. So you have to get the visitor's visa. In order to get that, you have to have a passport. And then the biosphere bracelet, that's all included in the ticket price. The angler doesn't even
You don't have to do anything. Yeah, you just have to show up with your passport.
You just have to show up with your passport. Yeah, you don't have to get this before you show up at the landing. The landing will do that for you.
Yeah.
And when we fish offshore, we just need the Mexican fishing license.
And that's that.
So
if you have an annual Mexican fishing license, is that good enough?
That's good enough.
Okay.
Just make sure you let the guys in the office know that you have an annual when you sign in to purchase your ticket.
No passport, just a form of ID and your Mexican fishing license.
Ready to go. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow. As you can hear, we have a great show lined up for today. Captain Ryan Bostian, a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah,
the guy that gets them.
Always so much fun having Ryan in here. So much great information, and we're looking forward to hearing from you. If you want to be a part of Let's Talk Hookup this morning, give us a call at 213-432-1090. Again, 213-432-1090 is how you reach us here on Let's Talk Hookup. Or you can send us a text. Text the show is a hugely popular here on Let's Talk Hookup. Texting the show only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free download. Great way to listen to past shows. If you're driving home from work, it's a great way to tune out for the traffic ride and listen to Captain Ryan Bostian and talk some fishing. So lots of fun. And again, if you are texting the show, make sure that you include your contact info, your name and your phone number, because if you win the big prize at the end of the show today, we want to make sure to get a hold of you. And what a cool prize we are giving away today. So proud to get to do it. And one lucky caller or texter is going to be winning a full day trip going fishing on board the San Diego with Captain Ryan and Captain Brawl out of C4 Sport Fishing, and just getting in on all the great fishing that we've already talked about and are going to be talking about for the next 2 hours here on Let's Talk Hookup.
So a caller and a texter.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How about that, huh?
So we're going to give away one, a caller and a texter today. Each going to be winning.
Flip.
That's it. Yeah, no flipping today. Going to be a lot of fun. Hey, you stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Here's the hot tip on the best fishing LA has to offer. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. They are home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnight on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and three-quarter-day trips on the Sea Angler. For your own private charter, we have the Outrider and True Line available. There's always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or on the web at 22ndstreet.com.
Hey, it's time to talk about where it's always biting, and that's at a place called Point Loma Seafoods right next to the San Diego Landings in Point Loma.
Few guarantees when it comes to collecting fish, but that's a guaranteed great spot at Point Loma Seafoods right next to the San Diego Landings. And again, I say it every time when we're talking the tackle store, that's a once a week at minimum for us. Absolutely love Point Loma Seafoods.
Lunch, dinner, or just taking it home, their array of fish is just amazing. And if you love smoked fish, nobody smokes fish better than Point Loma Seafoods. Salmon, albacore, tuna, wahoo,
so
whatever. Their smoked fish, they have it down.
And I love that they go to the markets every day and they purchase. It's not, there's always going to be staple favorites, but then there's also cool exotics. And that's because they go to the markets, they buy fresh fish from whoever it might be, local guys, Mexico guys, wherever it is, they're going to pick what's best for that showcase. And, you're always going to have your staples, but I love when they have, like, hey, man, that particular fish looks great. Let's put it in the case.
And they'll tell you, too.
Totally.
For sure, yeah. Fresh king salmon from Alaska, local white sea bass, grouper from Mexico, whatever you might want. It's there at Point Loma Seafoods right next to the San Diego Landings in Point Loma.
One of the dream trips for most anglers is Alaska. There are so many lodges. How do you make a choice? It's easy. Choose the one most Let's Talk Hookup listeners return to time after time. Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. No one does it better than Kingfisher Charters. They offer the best service, the most comfortable accommodations, fantastic food, and the finest charter captains in Sitka. All for the ultimate value. One visit and you will understand why nobody beats Kingfisher Charters. Sitka is famous for some of the best runs of salmon in Alaska. And if giant Alaskan halibut is your target, the expert captains at Kingfisher Charters know the hot spots and can put you on a fish of a lifetime. Plenty of rockfish and huge lingcod are there too. And when it comes to fish processing, the best in Alaska is Kingfisher Charters. It's all included in your package. In fact, everything is included except tips. It is truly amazing how the Kingfisher crew continues the quality of service they deliver year after year. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
Hi, this is Dwayne Diego from Pinnacle Sport Fishing, and I love my Costa Del Mar sunglasses. You cannot beat the 580G lenses and the killer frames that they come with. The 580G lenses are by far the most clear and durable, scratch-resistant lenses I've ever used. And I'm far from easy on my equipment. We use it day in and day out, and having that scratch resistance that they have is a game changer for us. I rely on my Costa Del Mars every day. They take care of my eyes and help see what's out there. For more information, you can check out CostaSunglasses.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Man, phones are packed. The amount of texts we have already gotten is absolutely crazy. It's going to be a busy morning, but there's tons of time for you. If you want to get through, give us a call. Again, 213-432-1090. That's how you reach us here on the phones. The texting only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app. Again, make sure you get that contact info. And if you didn't catch the beginning of the show, 2 prizes at the end of the show today. 1 to the callers, 1 to the texters, each going fishing on board the San Diego out of C4 Sport Fishing. Yeah. How cool is that?
And we want to thank Captain Ryan for being so generous. We give away passes all the time, and thanks to Ryan for giving up part of his income there to send our listeners fishing. We appreciate that.
It's well worth it.
It's nice. Everyone's favorite prize. I mean, it's so cool. It's so highly sought after, and we're so proud to get to do it, man.
For sure. Awesome. We appreciate it. Hey, yesterday was the big Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea, Friends of Rollo giveaway. The grand raffle prizes were given away yesterday, and you can actually view the whole giveaway online at the Captain Rollo's Facebook page. So go to RolloKids.org, and then click on their video, and you can see the video of the actual prize giveaway. But the top 11 winners, there were, I don't know, 20, like a bunch of prizes. Top 11 winners in order: Ricky Chavez, Kyle Johns, Stevens Redondo, Jennifer Lala, Jim Graham, Kyle Lancaster, Karen Hendrick, Ken Wood, Gary Gentile, Steve Tilden, Mame Williams, and they get to select in order what prizes they want. Of course, the top prize was that $2,000 in gasoline and all the ice you want from Summit Gasoline, which somebody's going to be pretty stoked. But there's some pretty amazing prizes there. Trip to Katmai Lodge.
Trip to Cedro Sport Fishing.
Trip with Benny Florentino.
I thought that was really cool how they did it, too. So the guy who wins first gets to take his pick of any of the amazing prizes. And then second place gets anything that's left over, and so on and so forth.
5-day on the Polaris Supreme, 2-day on the Shogun. I mean, just like amazing. Tuna Wars 2-day fishing trip, Camp Chef Barbecue. I mean, they're like some amazing prizes.
That'd be a really, if you're number one, you got a really tough decision in front of you.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Would you take the gasoline?
It'd be hard not to, man.
Yeah.
Like $2,000 worth of fuel and free ice for the however long. So if it takes you a year to burn through your fuel, you get as much ice as you want the whole time. Like going on the boat every day, that would be pretty hard. That'd be pretty hard not to beat.
Yeah, for sure. So the winner of the bonus prize, remember last week or the week before we were doing this special thing where you bought some extra Rollo raffle tickets and you got a $2,000 Akuma shopping spree. Congratulations, Mike Bond.
Hey,
Mike Bond,
from PCS Show.
That's
cool.
Has been around a long time. He's got $2,000 to spend on Akuma tackle now. So if you want to check all that out, just go to RolloKids.org and check out the Facebook page, and you'll be able to see the video, the whole thing there for sure. So phones are packed, the texts are full. Let's go ahead and jump into it, Rick.
You got it, buddy. Well, again, every single phone line full. 213-432-1090 is how you reach us. We're going to start it off this morning with Tom, who's calling us from University City. Good morning, Tom. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, my favorite show of the year when Ryan comes on. My question's about whether you'd fish the Coronado Islands again. So in the scenario where the water cleans up at the Coronados and the fishing is really good, do you think you would end up going back there, or is it that passengers want to go offshore now, or what's the calculus?
Good question, Tom. Thank you for the compliment as well. We love fishing the Coronado Islands. That's where I personally would like to fish every day if I could, but conditions dictate that, and it seems like since this bluefin has showed up in the last 10 years, in order to get consistent passenger counts to come out for a Coronado Island trip, we have to catch at least 100 yellowtail a day. In order to do that, fishing has to be really, really good, and it just wasn't that good this spring. The best day we had was 35 fish, and we would love to get back there, but what's happening offshore is going to dictate whether or not we can do that. If we stop seeing sign offshore, our range on the San Diego offshore is about 50 miles.
You can go 50 miles in a day trip.
Yeah.
Wow.
We don't like to. We'd rather fish, around 30. That gives us, a lot of time to make a catch.
Sure.
But we certainly have. We've gone 60 before, to fish a kelp or something. So if the fish move out of our range offshore and we just stop seeing them for 5-6 days, then absolutely, yeah, we will go back to the Coronado Islands.
So it's basically where the fish are, you're going to go within that range.
Absolutely, and we do our best to keep everybody updated on our Instagram and Facebook and website. If we don't, the landing guys certainly do keep everyone up to date. You can call Seaforth and they'll tell you what's going on, or just check our social media, check our website, and we do our best to keep everybody up to date. But it's conditions and fishing based. That I was thinking about that on the way down here. Like a captain's day on these boats starts the night before. We're constantly gathering information and calling our buddies and looking at water charts and looking at weather, and it's so much more than what the passenger sees, just on the day of a fishing trip. It starts at least the night before, sometimes a week before. And so if the Coronado Islands look like they're getting good and the offshore fishing is sliding downhill, we would love to get back to the Coronado Islands.
We were plagued with a crummy weather, winter and spring this year. Does that play into the water conditions of the island, or the water conditions separate from just the cold and the wind and the rain that we're dealing with on the beach?
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely related. We needed the rain here in Southern California, and we certainly got it, but I think it took a toll on the coastal water conditions.
No doubt.
Yeah,
the water.
It was.
There are a lot of things that we haven't seen. The wind sailors were all over the place.
They're still
little
around.
Red tide now.
There's some red tide. This spring we saw 53, 54, 55
crazy.
degree. We didn't see that the last few years. And
very different year.
Yeah, we certainly saw that this winter and early spring.
What are you seeing offshore now, temperature-wise?
Not very warm either. Our first day out there, we caught our fish in 59.4 degree water.
Get out of here.
Yeah, we caught our fish in 59.4. Now it's 61, 62. We're reading the surface temperature on the boat, and I think a lot of times we get hung up on water temperature where we shouldn't. I don't think it's as crucial as we once thought it was.
Yeah.
Yellowtail and tuna, they're most of the time swimming, 120 to 300 feet below the surface, and the water's always cold down there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We get hung up on water temp a lot, but I don't think it's as important as we once thought it was.
Because we're just seeing the surface.
We're just reading the surface temp. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of great water, we're going to head down south to Rancho Leonero. Our great buddy John Ireland is on the line, and I know there's some warm water down there in the East Cape. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Rick, Pete, Captain.
Morning.
How you doing, John?
Morning, John.
Great. Well, the water is warming up down here rapidly. Another 3 degrees this week. We're between 75 right up against the shore and then 77 outside, 77, 78. So it's definitely warming up fast. The days are, too. We're getting up into the high 80s now and starting to get more typical late spring weather. So, and the fishing has improved. We had a real slow start, but it's finally kicking in. And a good sign is the rooster fish have finally shown back up. Plenty of rooster fish, especially up north. And we're having trouble getting sardine down below, but off the Cardinal, just around the corner, Pescadero up there, the boats are getting lots of sardine, and there's loads and loads of rooster fish up there. No real big ones that I saw, max about 20, 25 pounds, but they're around and they're coming back. Real good bottom fishing as well. Nice pargo, pompano, amberjack on the bottom, using sardine again. Up there off Cardinal is the best, just literally because of the bait. And picking up some nice fish and lots of limits for everybody. Pargo to 20 pounds, a lot of nice sized pompano, and loads of Sierra inside, everywhere inside. Right off the front of the ranch there, right off the beach, a 10-pounder, which is a big Sierra, was taken right off. I don't think it was on fly. I think it was on conventional, but right off the front of the hotel. On south, striped marlin have finally shown up, and in good numbers, but pretty further outside, 15 to 20 miles off. When normally they're right on the banks, but for whatever reason they're further outside. But quite a few of them too, picking up trolled ballyhoo, and mixed with them the occasional big Dorado. Most of them bulls, but a lot of 20, 30-pounders picking up on the fly. They're on the ballyhoo as well. So fishing's picking up, guys, getting better.
Yeah, that time of the year, and we're just a month away, or a little more than a month away from our grand finale, Let's Talk Hookup, annual Let's Talk Hookup Rancho Leonero Spring Spectacular. Looking forward to that. And I guess I was talking to Pam, and there's actually a couple of rooms left if you want to go.
There sure are, especially considering it's the last hurrah. You really should get involved. It's a fun tournament, no pressure. Everybody has a great time, and June's a great month to do it, too. Good fishing in June.
$1,000 cash from Dave at State White Stripes. Thanks to Dave, and a lot of other great prizes. And it's going to be a fun time. If somebody wants to come to Rancho Leonero, how do we get a hold of you?
Thanks, Pete. It's 800-646-2252 or rancholeonero.com.
All right. Thanks, John. Great to hear from you, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
You will. Next Sunday,
John.
I will. Okay, guys.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Well, hey, with that, we're going to find out what's going on. We got another couple of great texts coming through here. This one's from John in Rancho San Diego. Said, hey, such a great show today. Love it when Captain Ryan's on. Ryan, do you think color of yo-yo jigs makes a difference? And is there a brand or shape that you prefer when dropping down? Also, when you're dropping bait, do you prefer a standard dropper loop like we would fish for rockfish or a reverse dropper loop like for halibut? And that's from John in Rancho San Diego.
I'm assuming he's talking about yellowtail.
Yeah, I'm assuming too, yeah.
Yeah. Color of yo-yo jig, we keep it real simple for that at the Coronado Islands. The scrambled egg, blue and white, Dorado colors, somewhere in there, and you'll be good. I don't think color is
not that critical.
Not that critical.
What is critical for yo-yo fishing?
It's a reaction bite, and fishing the correct size of yo-yo jig is crucial. At the Coronado Islands, if we're yo-yoing in, say, 70 feet to 150 feet, and the fish are active, they're like willing to boil, we like the smaller size yo-yo jigs, the junior size.
6X junior.
6X junior.
Or even smaller.
Or smaller, because I think you get a better flutter effect on the way down. Okay. You're more likely to get a bite on the sink. If we're fishing deep water, 180 to 350, sometimes they get out there deep and they're on the bottom. And then it's about getting down, who can get down the fastest. That's when we'll go to the full size yo-yo jigs.
Yeah. When we were in Loretto a couple weeks ago, there was a spot of fish that really wanted that butterfly jig.
Oh yeah.
Down on right on the bottom, not
cool.
Heavy ones, but right on the bottom. Like the 130, 150 gram, something like that. Do you ever see that?
Yeah, we're starting to see more and more of that. The bluefin knife jigs are starting to show up on our Coronado Island trips, and honestly, I can't say that I have seen a scenario where they've worked any better than a traditional yo-yo jig yet. But we're all still learning, and I might just be totally missing the bus on that.
Sure.
I'm sure there's a scenario where it is the deal. I just personally have not seen it yet.
All right.
I like a traditional, yo-yo jigs.
6X junior.
Oh man, or something similar. JRI is making some 6X junior-ish type.
You like
jigs.
the brass ones from JRI, or?
I do. Yeah. I do. I think there's a time and a place for them. When you want to get down faster than the guy next to you, I think it's something. I still like the flutter effect that you get from a traditional 6X junior. They're a little wider and get a lot of bites on the sink. A lot.
Yeah.
So,
that's good.
Yeah. Good info.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And how about treble hook versus single hook?
Treble hook for yellowtail fishing. Yeah, I just to me, a single hook on a yo-yo jig just looks funny.
Right.
Yeah,
it just doesn't look right. And a lot of fishing, as we all know, is confidence. And if you have confidence in what you're using, you're going to be better off. And so we always recommend a treble hook on a yo-yo jig. And for sinker rig, I think he wanted to know reverse dropper loop.
Right.
Traditional, hook above the weight dropper loop is what we like to use, but not just the rockfish dropper loop, because those will blow apart on a yellowtail. You want to tie like a spider hitch or something strong,
Yeah.
But I like the hook above the weight because you can feel the bait better.
Okay.
So, if you have the weight above the hook, a lot of times you can't feel your bait.
Sure.
You got to worry about getting rocked when you hook one down there, and you don't want to give that fish 5 seconds of him having your bait in his mouth and you not feeling it. So we like the hook above the weight.
All right.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, great info as always for sure. Hey, speaking of great info, we're going to head out to the Cast Man, Richard Castaneda from Cast Tours. We missed you yesterday, Cass. I know traveling home from a great trip to Panama, but we got him today. Buenos dias, Cast Man.
Hey, buenos dias, Ricky. Great trip. The Let's Talk Hookup Pesca Panama trip. It's God, I think it's somewhere like our 10th trip down there. It was a great trip, good group of people. Of course, our friend Bernie Bernard was on there. Patrick G actually showed up on this trip, and the tuna fishing, they were there. I mean, we were running and gunning and get up there, and toss lures and toss bait, and we did get them, but not the numbers that we normally do. I think the biggest that we got was about 145, but we had a lot of the I'd say the 20 to 40, 50-pound range, and a few between the 50 and 100-pound range. But like you say, the numbers were not there. But we ran some good bull dorado one day. We fished inshore, gosh, the Cabrera snappers, roosters, amberjack. Like I said, it was a great trip. Just a quick story. Patrick G, his very first trip down there, I've been going, since 2001.
I'm already shaking my head here in this story. I think Patrick G always
so anyway, we're running the gun for tuna, and I look at the meter, and Patrick was trying to, cast and retrieve a Cold Sniper jig. And I looked at the meter, and I saw it was 315 feet deep, and I go, and we were kind of sitting still, and our guide there, one of our deckhands was making us lunch, and I said, "Hey, Patrick, drop that thing down there. See what's down there." And so he lets it down there and gives it a couple of up and downs, and whammo! And he brings in a cherna. Now, cherna looks like some kind of a rockfish, but its size bulge out, when it gets to the surface. And the deckhand and the captain on the boat went crazy. They could not believe there was a cherna right here, because it's a very sought after fish, very, very good eating, nice white meat, and so we started dropping down. I dropped down. I was getting cherna. We were getting some red snapper and other stuff, and I guess they didn't know this was an area where they had it. So our captain Nava, he's over there. He's writing the coordinates down, and doggone it, Patrick G has a bank named after him.
The G Bank, huh?
No, it's a G spot.
The G spot.
But
oh my God! Well, so Patrick's an exceptional fisherman, and Pesca Panama, what great adventure! That's such a cool. So, are you going to do it again next year?
Yeah, we're scheduled late April. I think it's the last 2 days in April and the first week in May. And like I said, same crews on there, same guides, 27-foot Ocean Master, running gun, man. I'll tell you, we were flying all around the Hannibal Bank and a couple other spots there, just southeast of Montosa. And then, like I said, we did on our first couple of days, we fished over at Ladrones, Pete. Do you remember when you caught all those wahoo that one time?
Oh, yeah. I'll never forget that, yeah.
Yeah, and we fished there. Tuna were there. There was tuna just all around. And like I said, it was running gun. Just, we're waiting for that wide open bite. And I think, but like you said, we picked at them and we got them. So it was fun. But
that's great. So we'll probably do the Loretto Rumble right before that, Cass?
I'm going to shoot... you were mentioning Cabrera, the lack of Cabrera, I think last week when we talked. May is a very good month for Cabrera and for yellowtail. So I'm thinking, why don't we get the best of both fish and maybe go May?
We'll talk.
And yeah. So we'll chit-chat about that. I had, like I said, I still got to get back and get my act together and get everything back to normal. Like I said, I've been gone almost 2 weeks now. So, but we'll do that. But anyway, if you want to book a trip into Southern Baja, mainland Mexico, Central America, and all the other destinations we do, give us a call at Cast Tours, 800-593-6510. I'll check you guys out on the web. Check us out on the web at www.castdoers.com, and I'll talk to you next Saturday.
Sounds great, Cass, man. Nice. Welcome back from Panama, and we'll look forward to talking to you next Saturday. Let's head over to the Tribute, one of the fellow boats over at C4 Sport Fishing with Captain Ryan Bostian in San Diego. Mike on the Tribute's on the line. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, gang. How's it going?
Great. Are they biting?
You know what they are, and I got to say that is a great name for the bank that Cass came up with, because nobody will ever find it. So
that's right.
All good to go there. That's as far as we're going on that one. But you know what? They are biting. Very, very good fishing here. Last couple of trips, fished way later than we probably should have last night or this morning, whatever you want to call it. We had 43 bluefin for our charter group. We had an open waters charter that was new to us. Very, very fun group of anglers. Lots of newbies. Lots of their raffle prizes go to a charity to take kids fishing, which is always a huge plus on our book. But very good fishing the first night. Mostly jig fish. Trip before we had limits of bluefin. And you know what? It's funny. I was talking to Andrew on the Pacifica that the lack of participation from our angler standpoint here. It's hard to get people to come out fishing right now, and it is very, very good. So. Limits last trip, or trip before last, I'm sorry, and then this last trip here we still had 43 for our 31 anglers. Lots of them were newbies. We even got one on the electric grill last night.
Hey,
nice.
Yeah,
electric grill. New way.
Yeah, on the Daiwa, basically the same thing as our kite reel. He got bit on the retrieve, using it as an electric grill, and then wound the thing in under power. It did its job. It smelled funny.
Burned it up a little bit. That's funny.
Yeah, definitely had a unique smell towards the end. Nice 50-pounder. But we've had some fish up this last trip. 85 pounds were probably our bigger ones. The trip before up to about 150. And really just outstanding fishing. Relatively close to home. Nice weather. And the last couple of trips, I think as you saw, I say you has a picture of Gary this morning, but we're also going to partake in some really, really good rockfish fishing in between. So, the last trip we knocked out limits of bluefin and went and caught a bunch of reds. So, not the worst thing ever.
Gary looked pretty stoked with that big red there, Mike. What a fun trip you guys had. That's awesome.
The Iron Man, Gary White, was on the boat with you.
Yeah. Yes, he didn't. It wasn't send you a picture of the bluefin. It was send a picture of my red.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, if somebody wants to come aboard the Tribute, Mike, are you running this week? Looks like pretty decent weather. A little bit of wind here tomorrow, but then the rest of the week looks really nice.
Yeah. I think we're fishing close enough to where that shouldn't be any kind of an issue. Wednesday night we are for sure go. We got 11 passengers booked so far, and it was kind of a last minute addition. We do have a weekend Friday night, day and a half trip that is a for sure go as well, and it has plenty of room. I think it's only about half full, but kind of a rarity right now to be able to jump on with good weather and good fishing like this on a weekend.
For sure. Well, if somebody wants to come aboard the Tribute or any of the boats over at Seaforth, how do we get a hold of you guys?
There is boats running daily, whether it's myself, Andrew, or Greg, anybody else. So it's give Seaforth a call, 619-224-3383. You can book through SeaforthLanding.com, TributeSportFishing.com. Always take a look at our Facebook and our Instagram page. It's Tribute Sport Fishing. But, it's really good. I mean, they're for being able to go down and get on a boat at almost any landing right now, and it's here.
Get on it.
We'll
Go
take
fishing.
It. That's it. Mike, great job.
Good luck finding that bank.
Appreciate it as always, buddy. We'll look forward to talking to you on the next one. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more of your texts, and a lot more with Captain Ryan Bostian, including checking in with the Catch Report. You stay tuned. It's Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
This is Pete, and I hear it all the time. That Jim and Mary at Poway Valley Collision are amazing. I took my car to Poway Valley Collision, mentioned Let's Talk Hookup, and they gave us VIP treatment, fixed our car, and even gave us a special price. Believe me when I say Poway Valley Collision is worth the drive from anywhere in the Southland. At some point, your car will need a body repair, and I'm confident in saying it pays to go to Poway Valley Collision. Our listeners can save hundreds of dollars on your next complex car or truck repair. They work with most insurance companies, including Auto Club, MetLife, Wawanesa, and more. All you do is call Jim, Mary, or any of their team members, and they do all the rest. No hassles, just top-notch work and VIP treatment. When you take your car or truck to Poway Valley Collision, the job and experience will be top-notch. Get it fixed right at Poway Valley Collision, 14211 Garden Road in Poway. Check PowayValleyCollision.com.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
You know, the ranch is unique. It's one of the few places in the world where you can still drive ATVs up the beach. We have fishing from the beach. We have dive trips that we run to Pomo in a number of different spots. Kayaking, of course, has been real big. We were one of the first hotels to introduce kayaking. The ranch is small, you know, it's intimate. It's 34 rooms, so everyone gets to know everyone. The old saying, where everyone knows your name. Well, truly at Rancho Leonero, the employees do know pretty darn near all our guests' names. And what's even more interesting is most of the guests know each other's names. Very personal, very intimate, and a special, special environment. 2 miles of beachfront, a mile on either side of the hotel. Rancho Leonero is really the last of the old-style Baja fishing resorts. 1-800-646-2252. 1-800-646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. I'll personally guarantee your best fishing experience and vacation at Rancho Leonero.
For quality, the Islander out of Fisherman's Landing is a favorite among anglers. But Islander Charters is much more than great fishing. The quality of the captains and crew, as well as the great meals and service, speak for themselves. Comfortable staterooms, a super clean and well taken care of boat are just a few of the reasons the Islander is so popular. The Islander specializes in 1.5 to 5 day fishing. Experience the Islander difference. Visit IslanderSportFishing.com.
It's time for the Power Pro 30-second seminar. I like catching big fish, and I like smaller reels, too. How do I make sure that I have the capacity to land the big one? I fill my reels with Power Pro Max Quattro. It's 25% thinner than standard Power Pro, so you get more line on that small reel. Power Pro has a complete series of highly effective lines, including the brand new Power Pro Depth Hunter Offshore, with different colors every 100 feet. Perfect for flatfall fishing. Want to learn more? Check PowerPro.com. Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, man. Again, if you want to get through, give us a call, 213-432-1090.
You mean a line popped open? Wow,
yeah, we had one during the break.
All morning, so there you go.
Somebody didn't want to hang on through the break, so that's your opportunity.
Lots of texts, but you can still text the show through the Let's Talk Hookup app, too. Yeah. So.
And one lucky caller and texter each going fishing with Captain Ryan at the end of the show, man. How cool is that?
2 prizes today.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that said, we're going to jump into the phones, and we're going to jump into the catch report and find out what's biting out there. Captain Brian Woolley is standing by, and today, that catch report is sponsored in part by low gas prices for your car, truck, or trailer boat, and that's only at Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena. The Auto Bistro at Summit has all you covered on your fishing tackle needs. You got beer, water, soda, snacks, sandwiches, and you can even get your California licenses there 24 hours a day. They have tons of ice available, and it's free with your purchase, and 100 pounds of free ice with a minimum of a 35-gallon purchase. Summit Gasoline's the lowest gas prices and free ice. Easy in and out with your boat trailer, too. Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena. Let's head on up to Dana War Sport Fishing. Talk to Captain Brian Woolley. What's up, Woolley?
Hey, good morning, guys. What's happening? Good stuff in there this morning, man. Up? Hey, how are you, Pete? Good talking to you guys this morning. Well, hey, we had a great week across the board for us, both locally and, the Ferry had a good week over there at Clemente as well. Kind of starting it off here on the coast with our half-day stuff, we're finally seeing some of that 60 to 61-degree water, which, that's like the magic number. Things start to kind of pop when we start seeing some of that water along the coast here. So with that, the bass action for our half-day guys is starting to perk up a little bit. The light line approaches are still, I think, paying off better for those guys fishing the lighter line. The 10, 12-pound line are getting some bites. Guys fishing the rubber lures, smaller profiled rubber lures have had plenty of action on some of that stuff. But still the usual half-day fish, whitefish, sculpin, sheephead in the mix too. We did take a nice load of anchovy from Everingham. We're stoked. We had a nice load of anchovy in our receivers. So
Sweet.
We'll see how that shakes out this week for the half-day anglers. I think that will certainly help in that arena. 3/4 day right now still. We're on that bottom fish program, and it's been good fishing in a couple different zones. Locally here on the coast, The Boccaccio and the Reds have been biting well down there off Pendleton in like the 40 to 50 fathom zones. So we had some really good conditions this week, so it made it much easier to get the boat on the anchor in those spots. And then a day or two of almost unfishable current out there was pushing across that 14-mile bank, so it made things really tricky out there. But that backed off. The Clemente was out there yesterday, and he had really good fishing with that anchovy on those big Boccaccios, Floridas, and Chiles. So that was biting out there. So I'm sure we'll have some trips out there this week as well. And then, like I said, over at Clemente there, the Fury, he's been, mixing in more time on the hunt for that game fish, that halibut, the yellowtail, and the sea bass. Yesterday they had a handful of nice yellowtail in their morning in like the 20 to 27-pound range. And Marcus said that the yo-yo jig accounted for their bites. So that's good dope that Ryan was just sharing with everybody on that yo-yo program. So those they had a little bit of action on the live bait. Fish were up boiling around in their chums, so it probably would have been a good call for some of those smaller heavy jigs. But the ones they caught yesterday were on the full-size heavy yo-yo jigs. And then they had a few nice halibut there as well in the morning. And then they did their typical rockfish strips to kind of round out their trip. So good fishing across the board. We're eager to see what this week. There looks like a little funkiness in our weather, maybe a chance of rain a day or two, but I don't know how serious that's going to be. But we'll take what we have and we'll keep rolling here. But we're stoked on that anchovy that we have. That should pay off across the board for us here in our program, at least in our little stretch of the coast here. So call the landing, make a reservation. Our number here, 949-496-5794. Of course, you can link us there through the Let's Talk Hookup page and use that discount code SPRING25. That'll save you 25% on a half-day or three-quarter-day trip.
What a great deal. 25% off. SPRING25 at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Thanks, Captain Brian Woolley, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
All right, sounds good, guys. Thanks for the time. See ya.
Right. Willie. Hey, while we're waiting for Gundy Gunderson, the surf guru extraordinaire, I have a text here from Gino, and he has an interesting question. I got a question for Ryan. What do you think about a drop shot sinker rig technique, but using a jig with an assist hook at the bottom of your sinker instead of torpedo?
I've heard guys talk about that using that. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think you want to hook two at a time on these bluefin.
No.
Yeah, I think you're going to lose both of them.
Yeah, you're going to lose both of them. Yeah. Not a good idea.
And a lot of those jigs are designed to flutter. And you want, when you're fishing that drop shot rig, you want to get it down to a particular depth quickly and keep it there. We can see what depth they're at on the meter. And I think it would just be more difficult with a jig.
And tangle your sardine up, too.
Yeah,
right?
I would, maybe a better choice would be just put a couple hooks on your sinker.
Oh, okay.
If you want to do that, because we all know they bite the sinker
They do bite the sinker. Yeah. Do you have guys using that sinker rig?
Not too much.
Yeah, because you're fishing during the day.
Yeah, we're fishing daytime. We take a more finesse approach during the day, So, not too much, but I know...
So you're trying to say that a pound of lead, a giant treble hook, and a couple of 7/0 assist hooks is not a finesse approach to bluefin?
It's crazy.
Doesn't seem like it. But it works.
You're damn right.
It's crazy how many bites we've had. We always have a torpedo sinker on the engine hatch. If a guy gets a backlash when he's fly lining, we'll take a torpedo sinker and just take the guy's live bait hook, put it through the ring of the sinker, drop it downwind to stretch the guy's line out to put it back on his reel smooth. It's crazy how many bites we've had doing that.
Come on.
From all fish. Yellowtail, yellowfin, bluefin. Yeah.
No kidding.
Oh, it's crazy.
Wow.
You take a guy's rental rod, you drop a sinker downwind to straighten his line out, and you hook one.
Gee.
It happens I don't want to say it happens all the time, but it happens.
It can happen.
It happens for sure. Yeah.
That's
without
crazy.
even trying.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We're going to continue with our catch report, more of your phone calls, more texts. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Are you passionate about fishing and the great outdoors, but not quite sure where to go? Look no further than Queen Charlotte Safaris in pristine British Columbia, Canada. Hello, this is Valerie Hoprich. There's so many reasons to join us on your next fishing adventure. A few of the highlights are fishing in protected, calm waters. Very important. Quality Chinook salmon run all season long. After you've caught your salmon, we're going to go out for the great Pacific halibut, lingcod, rockfish, and Dungeness crab. Our beautiful lodge overlooks Shingle Bay and Sandspit, and it's so easy to get to. Fly from almost any airport into Vancouver and then on to Sandspit. Fish processing, your fishing license, your gear, all included. Just bring that fishing arm and that smile. Let our chef pamper you with amazing meals while our staff gives you wonderful hospitality, all included in your Queen Charlotte Safaris package. Give me a call on our toll-free number, 1-877-815-2892, or go to our website, qcsafaris.com.
In San Diego, the future belongs to everyone. So Ford engineered the truck of the future for everyone, the Ford F-150, available with a Pro Power onboard generator. What a great addition for anglers. There's also a variety of cab configurations for whatever you need to haul. The truck of the future isn't created for just a few. It's created for us who love the ocean and the outdoor life. Ford F-150. Test drive one at your local San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Shimano has done it again. An amazing lever drag 2-speed reel at an affordable price. It's Speedmaster 2, the extremely durable high-performance Speedmaster 2 with high maximum drag power and a smooth ultra-wide range of drag adjustability is an absolute fish-fighting machine. Its rigid Hagani body prevents misalignment of moving parts under the heaviest loads. Plus, a spare drag cam is included for optimal use with monofilament lines. The Speedmaster is now available in 4 models, 12, 16, 20, and 25. This is the perfect reel for the angler looking for a powerful, lightweight, smooth casting reel for tuna or other powerful saltwater game fish at a more affordable price. Nothing in its class can match the Shimano Speedmaster 2, built to provide high-end performance and dependability in a compact, lightweight frame. Get the Shimano Speedmaster 2 lever drag reel at your local Shimano dealer. Check Shimano.com for all the details.
It's time to go fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. The perfect rod to handle the toughest fish is Shimano Terramar. The secret? TC4 blank construction with Tech Tape outer wrap to shield the fibers from the impact damage. Make sure to match your Shimano Terramar rod with a Shimano Tranx 500. X-Ship and HEG technologies combine to provide the Shimano Tranx massive cranking power with a smooth and effortless retrieve. For all your Shimano needs, visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. Fisherman's Landing is the top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hardworking crew will maximize your fishing experience. We offer the finest open party trips, the best charter boats available, and our world-renowned long-range fleet. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service sport fishing operation offering great half-day, full-day, and open party trips. Book online at fishermanslanding.com. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.